Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to be talking about metformin. So this is the ultimate glucose disposal agent, so to speak, and it is typically used to help people with who are pre-diabetic. But before that, I want to remind everyone I am not a doctor and I am not a chemist. I do not encourage the use of any substances, legal or illegal, and this video is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only. So, metformin is often utilized in the performance-enhancing drug column because of its, insulin pathway effects. So what exactly is metformin doing? It's aiding in the ability of glucose to be utilized in cells as your body can become insulin resistant and not allow glucose to enter into the cell. You have metformin now saying, hey cell, let this guy in, and so now glucose will essentially be let in. So it aids in the insulin you already have in allowing in more glucose, sugar. So when it comes to metformin, they've also been looking at it for anti-aging. Not entirely sure of the process of this. Some people claim it's because it lowers IGF-1. However, there have been conflicting reports on if it actually does or not. There's actually some data to indicate that it either has no impact on IGF-1, which is insulin-like growth factor 1, or it actually boosts IGF-1. IGF-1 is typically responsible, or what we know to be responsible, for creating new muscle cells, and is a byproduct of when you take human growth hormone. So people oftentimes like having high IGF-1 because it can help to make new cells, thus more new muscle cells because of the damage and repair process, making it so that having higher IGF-1 may yield to them being a bigger person overall. A lot of that is obviously theoretical and doesn't actually have any evidence behind it because no one's ever studied metformin, insulin, and that sort of thing for the bodybuilding industry as it is. Or I should say bodybuilding sphere as it is. But overall, I think metformin is extremely useful when it comes to pre-diabetic patients so that they don't have to go on insulin, because basically eventually your body becomes so insulin resistant they have to take even more to shove the glycogen into your cells so that your body can actually absorb glycogen at that point and you don't have a bunch of issues, which diabetics have. So it has been greatly utilized in that category at fending off diabetes. In pre-diabetes, specifically for type 2, I've never heard of it being utilized for type 1 because there's no such thing as pre-diabetes for type 1. You just are born with it, from my understanding. There is so-called diabetes 1.5, which is a weird topic in its own, but basically the idea is that beta cells do not actually produce the correct amount of insulin, so people need to supplement with insulin or take something like a metformin to make the insulin they have more efficient. But obviously that is a little bit more controversial and more on the area that needs to be more studied. People utilize metformin to help absorb the amount of nutrients that they're shoving into their body. I should say shoving because usually it's above any normal person's eating standard for strongman, bodybuilding, any sort of weightlifting in general. And metformin is extremely useful in this context as it can aid in the absorption and make it so that you do not become insulin resistant, as well as fending off the need for insulin. Other people also utilize it when they're taking something like an MK677 or human growth hormone in general, where their insulin resistance will already be noted to raise because they're going to have an increase in insulin resistance. So they take something like a metformin, which is, again, like a prescription glucose disposal agent, one could say, and to help fend off the raise in the increase in insulin resistance. Sorry. When you're increasing resistance, it just sounds funny to say, so I had to think about it for a second. It's been utilized by many bodybuilders in the past. Some people swear by it. Some people think it's a joke. And some people say compared to insulin, it's essentially nothing. Overall, metformin is relatively considered safe. It's commonly prescribed by doctors. I think one of the biggest issues people have is stomach upset. I think there's actually a large percentage of people who use it and are prescribed it who actually get gut problems from it, and will often have diarrhea and sort of things like that because the metformin is too harsh on their intestines. So that is going to be it for this video on metformin. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel and give it a like if you enjoyed the video. And until next time, keep those shoulders back and down when you lift, and don't just have a good one, have a great one.